Alright guys, welcome back to part 3 of the recommissioning of my 2002 BMW R1150RT. And we're going to continue on with the project today, and we are going to work on changing the transmission oil and the final drive oil. So those are the two jobs I want to start with today. So if you haven't watched part 1 and part 2, I should mention yesterday I referred to this as the cylinder head, but that's actually not correct. That's actually the valve cover or the rocker box. I probably should have said the top of the cylinder head, but anyway, it's not the cylinder head, this is the cylinder head. So, just a quick clarification from yesterday's video on my terminology. So anyway, we're going to get to it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little bit of a flume for the transmission oil to be changed that fits in this area here so the oil can drain out. So I've got a piece of ABS pipe over here. Again, this is borrowed from some internet tips. This is just a piece of piping from central vac system that I have left over. It's about 1 3/4 inches. And I'm just going to cut those blue areas out to be able to stick that into the slot and drain the oil out away from the bike. So that's what we're going to do as a first step, and then we'll come back and we'll go through the process of changing our trans oil. Again, I'm going to say this right off the bat, yes, I understand that the bike should be warm and should have been run through the gears to do both the trans fluid change and the final drive change, but I don't have the option of doing that at the moment, so I'd like to go ahead and just do it cold. With the understanding, I guess, when I can get the bike running again and on the road, and after doing my checks to see how it's running, then we'll possibly come back and do another quick tranny oil change and rear drive change in the future. Alright guys, that's it for now. Make my flume and we'll come back. Alright guys, we've got our flume made and it fits in there nicely. So it just goes in like so. We've got an 8mm hex, or a number 8 hex wrench ready to go for the fill and drain bolts. We've got our bucket here emptied from yesterday, ready to go. And I've got a little piece of aluminum foil just protecting the exhaust there, just in case we get any drips. We don't want any drips of gear oil on the exhaust. Gear oil does not smell good. So we'll go ahead and we'll crack the fill port first, and then we'll go after the drain plug and we'll drain out what's in there. Well, we have our first potentially major problem on this bike. This does not want to come out. It's getting pretty close to being at the point of stripping it, so we're not going to go any further. It's still usable. I did crack the drain plug just to see if it was the same. I actually got that plug to move, no issue. So I'm thinking I need to add some heat to this. It's possibly been Loctited in here for some reason. So I definitely think I want to add some heat to it, but in order to do that, I think I'm going to have to take this plate off. So I guess we're going to attempt to take this off. It's not something I anticipated doing, so I guess we'll go ahead and do that though, if we have to. Alright guys, so we've got that side plate off, and the only concern I have is getting the brake mechanism back in place properly with that spring, so hopefully we'll be okay. There was one little nut that's hard to get to. I used a pair of the hemostats, actually, the long hemostats, to get to it to hold the back of the nut. So I think that's pretty much the only way I could do it. Anyway, it gives me an opportunity to clean in behind here, but first things first, we'll get the heat gun out and see if we can add a little heat to this to convince it to come out. So we'll grab the heat gun. Alright guys, we've got the heat gun on, and we'll see if we can convince this to move. We'll heat her up a little bit, not too much, and we'll just keep trying until we actually get it off. So here we go. Wish me luck. This could be a big problem if I can't get this plug out. Alright guys, we managed to get the plug off with a little bit of heat and a pair of vice grips, unfortunately. That is going to require a new plug for the fill port. So that's kind of unfortunate, but at least we got that off so we can proceed I'll have to order another one of these. But in the meantime, let's see if I can put this plate back together. We'll do a little cleaning, see if I can put this plate back together successfully, and then we'll continue on with our transmission oil drain and fill. Actually, it'd probably be a good opportunity for me to go ahead and change this rear brake line while I can, while I've got good access here. You can see where the brake line was leaking on top of the swing arm, so we'll clean that mess up. And good access back there, so we'll swap that line out. Got a few zip ties to cut, and then we can get that line out and replace that while we're in there. Alright guys, we have our new brake line installed, so we're good to go there. So now I'm going to try to figure out how to put this plate back on. And again, as I'd mentioned, I'm worried about the brake linkage as far as that spring is concerned. I have to make sure I locate that properly. I guess we'll figure it out somehow. So here we go, we'll put that back on. Alright guys, just a quick look at the back of this plate, and here is where the rear brake pedal goes. You can see that little bolt there that activates the micro switch when you brake to turn on the rear brake light. There's the brake switch there. So there's a bolt that goes through there with a bushing, and I think the spring sits there. So we'll assemble this way, and we'll check and make sure we've got it right. Need to add one more zip tie here for this switch cable that goes around this little piece here, and we'll just put this back on the bike very carefully. Alright guys, we got that plate back on, and that took about a couple of hours actually, all because of this little fill plug wanting to seize in there. So yeah, that pretty much wasted the entire morning screwing around with this part. It's back on. We're going to check the torque. If there are torque values for these fasteners, we're going to check to make sure they're torqued properly, and then we'll move on to getting back to our transmission drain and fill procedure. As mentioned, we're going to have to get a new fill plug. We'll just use this one temporarily. We'll just snug it up. We won't screw it in very tightly so we can get it back out again. Alright guys, that's it for now. I'd have some lunch. Alright guys, just back out in the garage after some lunch, and we've got some renewed patience now. We're going to torque these fasteners as I mentioned, so I looked up the torque values for this. So for the 6mm bolts, the torque value is 6 Newton meters, and for the 8s, they are torqued to 21 Newton meters. I am going to go back and do a little work on the brake lever. Did a quick read up, and the nut on the back actually gets some blue Loctite, and there's a torque value applied to that as well. We'll come back to when we start working on the brake lever. Okay guys, the bottom pivot bolt actually gets greased, and then it gets blue thread locker, and on the threads, and obviously we've got a nut here. It's torqued to 21 Newton meters, so we're going to go ahead and do that now. Alright guys, back to where we were about 4 hours ago or so. And we've got our flume tool handy. We've got our foil back on there protecting the exhaust. We're going to slide our tool in, and we're going to get our 8mm wrench, and we're going to undo that plug and let the oil drain. I would say based on the color, probably had red line in here. It looks a little reddish as far as the fluid is concerned, but it's draining nicely. Anyway, we'll come back when we go to refill this. Alright guys, the drain plug is back in. We need to torque that to 30 Newton meters. The fill plug will also be torqued to 30 Newton meters once we add our fluid. So we'll come back when we add our gear oil. Alright guys, here's what we're going to use initially on our bike. This is 80W90 gear oil, extreme pressure gear oil. Manual calls for 90 GL5, which this is GL5 as well. So again, a lot of guys will run synthetic in their transmissions. I'm not going to get into an oil discussion. We'll start with this. If we don't like it, we'll play around and switch around once we get the bike on the road. So it takes 800 milliliters, so 0.8 of a liter, to fill this. And my understanding is just to the bottom edge of this hole, and it'll start to weep out. So we'll start with the 800 and see where we get to. Alright, that was a bit of a nightmare, but that's now done for now. We will order a new plug. We just got this one snugged in there for now. I did put some anti-seize on both, so should be able to get at least the bottom one out in the future a little easier, although that one came out without issue. It was really just that top one. So once we get a new plug, we'll make sure we put some anti-seize on that as well. Alright, back to the final drive, so hopefully we won't have issues back here with fasteners, but anyway, we'll get back there and we'll have a look there. Alright guys, I managed to get the fill plug out for the final drive, and you can see the oil is right up to the edge here, and again, bright red. So obviously something other than the prescribed GL4 mineral oil in there, so probably something synthetic. Anyway, we're going to drain that out, and we're going to use the same as we did for the trans. We're going to use the GL5 gear oil, the 8090 gear oil. So we'll get this drained out hopefully. I think it's a 19 mil socket on the big nut on the bottom. So we'll get to that, drain it out. Hopefully no issues. Alright guys, here's the plug from the bottom of the final drive, and it's a magnetic plug, and we're just checking out how much schmutz. Hey, how's that for the compressor kicking on time? On command when we say schmutz. Anyway, just having a quick look. I'm not sure how much is normal. I'm sure there's supposed to be some there. So we'll clean that off, have a better look at it. The crush washer that was on here was way too big, so they've used the improper crush washer on here. We'll fix that up with a new crush washer before we install this and clean this fastener back up. Also, I'm going to put some anti-seize on this one. It's a little difficult to get this one out actually, so we'll do a little bit better job of putting it back in. Alright, drain plug is now cleaned up with some brake cleaner, looking better. New crush washer, we'll throw some anti-seize on it, and we'll get that back in the bike. GL5 gear oil again in the rear here takes about 250 mils, so 250 to 300 mils. So we're going to again just fill it till it starts to, so you can just see it at the bottom of the threads. Alright guys, final drive oil and transmission oil are now done. So we're going to be moving on to another project. I think what I'll do now is I'll just grab my new air filter. We'll clean out the filter box a little bit and the surrounding area. Then we'll put the lid back on, and we'll attach that breather pipe as it came off. And then we'll move on to something else. The gas tank awaits me, and the brake bleeding of the servo and of the front and rear circuits await me. So it's a tough choice, gas tank or brake bleed. We'll see what we do. I think it's going to be gas tank that wins out, unfortunately. Alright guys, moving on to the air filter. We've just cleaned out the filter box. Just gave it a quick wipe out, and got a little bit of debris out of there. A few dead flies, etc. And we wanted to compare the filter that was in there versus the stock filter that's going back in. Here's the filter we're putting in. The filter that came out is definitely a K&N filter. I can see the markings on it. It actually says made in the USA here on it. And in the banding, you can actually see the K&N branding there. So these are fairly expensive filters, but this one's pretty dirty and it's been abused to a degree. I mean, these can be washed and cleaned, but there's quite a bit of debris in there. So these need to be cleaned and oiled. I have these on my British cars. But anyway, we're going to go with the stock filter. We won't throw the K&N filter out, but we'll go with the stock filter. And it's looking a little better, a little cleaner at the moment anyway. So we'll pop that in there. And as I thought, it would take up more of the volume of the box. So that looks a little better. So we'll pop the top on there, and we'll hook up the connector, and we'll call that done. One more item checked off the list. Alright, just about to pop the top back on. And we've got to make sure you get this breather tube back in the slots, right? And fastened up here on its rubber bushing. So we're just going to throw the lid on. I did notice that the lid actually has a tiny bit of damage on it here at the rear, where some previous owner has damaged the housing. So we'll see how that affects things. I don't think it's going to affect too much, but we'll be a little bit more careful when we put this back on. Alright guys, the airbox is back in and connected up. As you may have noticed, I put the battery in as well. It's just not hooked up. Just one quick note, it's probably a little easier to put the battery in without this piping on. I did do it with the piping connected, but it's a little bit easier. Obviously, if that pipe's not there, you can feed the strap, and there is a little pull tab you can pull down and unhook that. So it's not really necessary, but if you got big hands like me, it's probably a little easier to do it before you put that tube on. Anyway, I think we're going to call this a day out here as far as the videos are concerned. We did do accomplish what we wanted to do today with the transmission and final drive oil change. A little bit further with the air filter change, and got the battery back in the battery box. And I think what we'll do is we'll cut the video here, and we'll get this uploaded this evening, and then we'll get out here tomorrow. We may even start working on this tonight. Might start working on things like putting that alternator cover back on. We've inspected the belt, and that looks good. We've done our valve adjustment, so we don't need to get to the front of the bike anymore, so that panel can go back on. And as mentioned, I think we're going to have to start working on emptying that rotten old fuel from that gas tank and getting into changing the fuel filter and the gaskets in there and the hoses. So that's going to be a fun job, a smelly job. So we'll get to that later this afternoon, evening, and into tomorrow. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.